Hi everybody, I'm back. Very annoyingly, I'm so sorry about the stream yesterday. I had to take a break to remove my dog from underneath my seat, and just as I was doing that, my internet went out for a few hours because we're having weather here in my part of Germany, which is very, very annoying. Hopefully everybody can hear and see me, Erika. Everything's fine. The music's not too loud, all that other stuff. Hi, Matt. Thank you for coming back despite my issues with my La Sombre Bane. Yes. So we didn't do much last time because my internet failed. But we did regain the wolf for Nin and learned that she's pretty dope. We like her a lot. We learned about the patron spirits that are here, and we really want to do the Falcon with Many Faces, which takes a few more steps to do, so we're going to focus on those steps so we can do them. But we need to learn a gift, and the gift I wanted to learn was Porcupine. Porcupine was the one that I thought was cool because it said something funny about Porcupine bumbles and bristles, and as we all know, my werewolf is Gaia's deadliest weasel, and bumbling around through the world is sort of her whole vibe and aesthetic. So let's see what Porcupine can teach us. And I hope everyone's doing well and ready to have a really great weekend. Oh, God. It was so embarrassing yesterday. I tried so hard to get it come back online, but my internet just said no. Porcupine tells you a story as you follow him. I love that for me. Once, he says, the gods played a trick on mankind and took from him the secret of art to see how he would perish. But mankind still had his old cunning, and he spoke to the clever spirits. He spoke to Thunder and Raven and the cleverest of the rivers and learned the great secrets of bringing about his will. He learned about ritual and sacrifice, the great secrets that the gods kept for themselves. And so horrified were the gods by the cleverness of man that they begged man to take back his arts. So the gods ran about and one by one returned to man his arts. Fire making they returned to him, and basket weaving, and how to make and use medicine. But then the gods realized they couldn't find two arts, clothing and weapons. They looked everywhere, but in the time it took the gods to gather up all the other arts, clothing and weapons had run off together and fallen in love. I really love one aspect of Werewolf that I really, really love, and it's hard for me to grasp, but I like the concept of it, is this animism thing. The spirit world is, animistic in nature, and I really like that. This was, of course, forbidden, and moreover, the gods had promised mankind his arts back. Knowing that without clothing and weapons, mankind would start working rituals of regalia and destruction, the gods sent their most eloquent speakers to plead. Raven and Fox and Bright Rain all spoke without success. But then a humble creature appeared of the retinue of rat, but lesser even than mouse, and said, "Let me reason with them." And he convinced clothing and weapons to return to mankind. The gods, who had promised everything to whoever could restore the last of the arts, immediately forgot the little animal, as they are forgetful. He went to clothing and weapons and reminded them of the deal, but clothing and weapons just laughed. But the animal knew what he was doing, and he took the love child of clothing and weapons and raised it as his own. And since he had witnessed the cleverness of man in turning to ritual and sacrifice, he sacrificed that child when it came of age and draped the child's skin over his body, stealing the power of clothing and weapons. That humble animal of the retinue of rat, but lesser even than mouse, had clothing and weapons and became Porcupine. Get him. And you better not mess with Porcupine. Using Porcupine's gift, the justice of the Black Fury... Okay, this is more a Black Fury thing. Black Fury yearns for instantaneous retaliation, so no one gets confused about the power of vengeance. When someone hurts you, they instantly suffer the pain of Porcupine's quills. This effect usually manifests as coincidental disasters, such as bad falls or bullet ricochets. The effect is automatic and relies on your stamina. Earning Porcupine's gifts. Porcupine offers his gift to half-moon werewolves and Garu who swear themselves to Gorgon, patron of the Black Fury tribes. All right, well, as cool as Porcupine is, that's not what we're doing. So we're gonna skip that. Let's check out Bear. That's probably also not for us, but let's check out Bear. Finding the bears is the first challenge. They are so vast, their spirits so all-encompassing that they seem to be all around you. But finally you realize that they're beneath you. It takes hours to find the cave of bears. These spirits are ancient. Picking your way over the bones, you study the shadows of the great bear spirits, as it seems imprudent to look at them directly. There's a whole family here, but only 2 acknowledge you in any way. The younger bears must not have any spiritual connection to Solardi, the local goddess of the moon, or the Garu. Mother bear and father bear both look your way, their movement slow, immense, geological. Using Father Bear's gift, Father Bear enhances a Garu's berserk fury when in Krynos form. Earning Father Bear's gift, after the Battle of Graves Farm, Father Bear no longer contracts with Garu except for wolf-born Arun. He must spend the next geological age attending to shapeshifters of his own type. However, an ancestral spirit has taken over his duties. You would need a Silver Fang or some other death wolf to explore those barrels and find the ancestral spirit Father Bear describes. Mother Bear lets you expend rage to heal your allies. The effectiveness of her gift relies on your composure. Mother Bear offers her gift only to Theurges and Children of Gaia who have earned enough glory in battle to be worthy of healing her warriors. Okay. All right. So we're not doing super well here. We're not doing super well. It's fine. We'll figure it out. I study the squirrels. All right, let's do I follow the cry of Whippoorwill. Let's just start at the top and work our way through. Find someone who wants to give us a gift. We're nice. Going full Bahari there, huh? Yeah, I know. It'd be great. Local folklore says that Whippoorwills carry away the souls of the dead, gathering in huge numbers around the houses of witches as they lie in their final agonies, eager to drag their spirits off to hell. The Whippoorwill also has a dire reputation among the Garu, as some werewolves associate the birds with the black spiral dancers, werewolves who serve the worm. You follow the distinctive call into woods so thick that the sky is entirely hidden, then spot the little brown bird perched on a log. Whippoorwill teaches the song of the moon path, which allows for safe travel through dangerous physical or spiritual terrain. Whippoorwill owns the Galliards. He's quite insistent on this. Garu, born of humanity, have mistreated his children by using them to call up the deed, and though he is courteous to you, he would not teach you even if you were a Galliard. Bummer. It's interesting that Scarper knew a similar gift, but he learned it from Goose. You've seen plenty of geese, but no goose around Broadbrook. Damn. Okay. Fox Spirit, come on. Fox has to be Ragabash based, please. Somebody like me. The fox spirit spins and dances, twisting, breaking apart, reassembling with 9 tails or 7 faces. Then vanishes behind the wind, only to emerge again, spreading across a dozen impossible angles. Confusion, misdirection, and the clean scent of running water, a spirit of trickery to hide your tracks from cops, journalists, and the more serious pursuit of professional hunters. Using Fox's gift, Fox hides your tracks both literally and metaphorically so you can escape pursuit. He's especially good at hiding you from Le Flic. Oh, what's that, chérie? You are surprised that Fox is not merely Fox, but Reynard? C'est vrai. Reynard comes down to Angleterre. Angleterre. I know Angleterre means... Wait. New England, right? Nouvelle means new, and Angleterre means England, right? Please God. I live so close to France and I know so little French. With the first trappers, but do not worry, even here, he knows how to escape the pigs, the swine, and those who would hunt you down. Even better, Reynard hides your tracks even if your rage is exhausted. Magnifique, no? Earn Reynard's gift. As a Ragabash renowned for her exceptional wisdom, you have pleased Reynard, but he disapproves of your serious ways. Fuck. Whoops. Don't mind that. Oh no. The fox spirit teaches his tricks and bestows his gift across 5 nights of chiminage in the form of sacred laughter and celebration of blessing of wisdom. Am I that serious? I don't think I'm that. I mean, maybe it's because I'm like too into the litany or something. Crap. All right. Let's find Trout, shall we? Help. So close. Both predator and prey, Trout is always moving, always shifting, always leaping to seek advantage. Trout grants a heightened sense of danger, allowing you to react instinctively to threats and avoid harm. Trout automatically, as long as you haven't lost the wolf, to warn you of danger. Using him to evade an attack relies on your composure. Trout only bestows this gift upon Arun. Great. This is not fair. Wildcat, somebody save me. I'm gonna get a squirrel gift, aren't I? It's fine. I like squirrels. You don't see Wildcat, but her claw marks shimmer in your vision. Umbral slashes against physical trees. You follow the trail and catch only the slightest glimpse of you're guessing a bobcat, since those are the only big cats regularly found in the area, but then she's gone, leaving only her claw marks. Of course, it's obvious what she can teach you, how to hone your claws to a razor's edge and tear your enemies to pieces. Using Wildcat's gift. Wildcat enhances your combat skills as long as you're using claws. Even better, all you need to do is sharpen your claws on a convenient surface. This trick relies on your dexterity. Arun only. Butterfly, what do you got for me? Isn't she beautiful? She's no butterfly species you've ever seen before, and every time you look at her, she changes, but she's dazzling every time. And you think she can make you like her. With Butterfly's blessing, you can dazzle, delight, and charm. Sure, it's a superficial delight, and it only works on humans, but it's awfully hard to look away. Butterfly enhances your social skills, but only with humans. Butterfly's gift works automatically. Butterfly only offers her attention to galliards or glasswalkers. That's fun. Okay. Squirrel, what you got? Squirrel got anything for me? Least and humblest of the local spirit, Squirrel is ubiquitous, hardworking, and forward-thinking. You got to be able to bury enough nuts that you can survive the winter. Squirrel is burying spirit nuts right now, but the principle is the same. But something has agitated the numerous squirrel spirits in the woods, and every time you approach, then they leap away. That's not surprising, since that's the gift a squirrel spirit offers: leaping, running, balancing, and a hasty escape. But they're really upset about something. You might have to sort that out. Works automatically, as long as they have, okay, any auspice with 3 nights of chiminage, as long as they have earned sufficient glory and are capable of thinking about the future. Squirrel is impressed by your farsightedness, but this little spirit thinks you're not enough of a warrior yet. I am getting 0 gifts, is the problem I'm seeing here. I follow Owl. I get 0 gifts. 0 gifts for me. Yeah, I got rejected by that fox too. 0 gifts for me. Owl swoops and waits. Owl watches. And seeing all, Owl knows when to strike. When the time is right, she kills. You don't need Owl to teach you how to kill. You're a werewolf. But her eyes pierce darkness and mist. Her eyes hear the rustling of mice under grass and leaves. She can open your senses, letting you experience everything around you. Using Owl's gift. Owl hones and expands your senses in this world and in the Umbra. While you can usually perceive your own spirits, Owl will let you see clearly into the spirit world. Her gift works automatically as long as you haven't lost the wolf and relies on your composure, which isn't that great. Wolf and Owl were close friends once, and Owl permits any Garu to share in her gift, as long as they show sufficient wisdom and dignity and are willing to perform 3 nights of chiminage. You pass both tests. Yay, yay. Please, dear God, because I have nothing left, I devote 3 nights of wise service to earn Owl's gift of far-seeing and keen hearing. It's a wisdom thing, which is fine. It's not really... I was hoping for honor, not wisdom. But that is what I will do. Boom. Owl's request is apparently simple. Restore the, I don't know this word, Eulenlochs of Broadbrook. Okay. First, what's an Eulenloch? You go online and wait for the agonizingly slow connection speed. It's a Pinot Noir. No, that can't be right. 0 wise, oh wise and far-seeing owl. Do you want a Pinot Noir? No, that's not it. More slow searching. Okay, here we go. It's a hole with a perch in a barn, literally an owl hole. They used to be all over Broadbrook, but most farmers don't use them anymore and have boarded them up. You look up at Owl and seem to see through her to 7 locations scattered around the borderlands where Broadbrook gives way to farms. Then, over the next few nights, you physically restore the Eulenlochs, climb up at night with hammers to pry away old boards, and nail new landing platforms into position. You work fast so you don't get shot, then disappear into the night. At the end of 3 nights, you're tired but triumphant, and Owl grants you her gift. I feel honored, but now I want to leave the woods because that was agonizing to be rejected so much. I can't really do anything else. I can't join the Heart Wardens until I help more with whatever Stormcat's problem is, which is a huge problem. Whatever her problem is. Owl's gift is good? Great. If it makes you feel better, Owl was the only one I got to at this point. Okay. All right. Well, it does make me feel better. It does, actually. Because, like, there was only one Ragabash gift where there was, like, 2 Arun gifts, 2 Galliard gifts. I think there's only 1 Theurge gift. So it's like, there wasn't a single Philodox gift. Oh, I would have felt really crappy if I picked Philodox and, you know, there was no other thing either. You're cutting through the woods where they abut the barrows when Nin bursts out of the foliage in her lupus form, followed by a whippoorwill. The spirit is a ripple in the branches moving fast. Nin sees you and howls. The Galliard is rarely verbal in her lupus or hispo forms, but she conveys her intent well enough in the primal tongue of the Garu. A thorn of some kind is stuck in Whippoorwill's territory, and Nin must find and remove it as her chiminage. In exchange, the death spirit will teach Nin the song of the moon path. I wanted to learn that, but whatever. And ensure her safe travels. And she wants your help finding the thorn. Not now, Nin. I'm busy. Yeah, we need her to heal more of this land. So yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Let's help. Let's be helpful and nice and good. You jog to keep up with Nin, who lopes through the spring woods, following the trilling tweet of Whippoorwill. The Galliard edges around the barrows where you fought David Beninsky back into the woods to a dense copse of trees like where you first met Whippoorwill. Nin hesitates at the edge of the copse. I was a corpse. She retreats, prancing like a nervous pony, and circles around the slope. Something set her off, and Whippoorwill has stopped calling. You step around a tree and see the defiled deer. You again, the deer says. Oh, God. The skin of its face and neck is peeled back, its flanks marked with spiral runes. Oh, no. Black spiral dancers. Small flayed arms, child-sized, dangle from its neck, forming a kind of beard. The little red fists open and close. Oh, God. You recognize the voice because the horse spoke in that voice after you killed the rider back in New York. You're the one who did all this. Who ruined David Beninsky's great project. Who has angered the answering tiger. You must be very proud. But I cannot die, fool. Destroy my host body and I return to the Umbra stronger. I mean, I could ask it for information about answering tiger, but I feel like I'm stupid and even though it just told me what's going to happen, I just want to hit it again. It's this Black Spiral Dancer's old patron. Yeah. Yeah. Who's their patron now? Patron spirit now. Is it Bat? Is it Bat or is it Fly? I get them mixed up. Pentex is one of them and Black Spiral Dancer is the other one. I get them mixed up in my brain. Is it Bat? Yeah. Bat and Fly are the two, like, quote-unquote bad patrons. I just can't remember. Always get them confused. You've defiled this land as you sought to defile my old home. I can't allow that. I'm going to send you back to hell. Ha! The deer cries. What makes you think? That's when Nin smashes through the dry branches over the deer in her colossal hispo form. The Fomor is dead the moment Nin lands on it, but Nin still picks the thing up by its neck and flings it across the clearing to land in a broken heap on the young green grass. The little hands scrabble on the dirt, but the deer is dead, its skull and spine crushed, blood and brains leaking from what's left of its face. Fool, the Bane says, manifesting as a stain in the air over the corpse, like a gas leak rippling in front of the trees. You cannot kill me in any way that... Who is that? Whippoorwill's song carries across the copse. The Bane turns to flee deeper into the Umbra, but something darkly radiant opens around and beneath it. And with a scream, the Bane tumbles down into the land of the dead and fades into nothingness. Take that to the Shadowlands with you! To the lower Umbra. I love it. I love it. Further investigation reveals a maple sapling warped into the shape of a spike driven deep into the earth. It reminds you unmistakably of the lance the rider carried back in New York, but it's not clear what it was for. Nin has no trouble uprooting and destroying it with her huge claws, and once it's gone, pattern spiders immediately get to work healing the ripped open walls between this world and the Umbra. You can hear them working for the few minutes, even if they work so quickly that soon you can't see them. I will die on the hill that the Weaver is just as dangerous as the Worm. Die on that hill. Every time. The Fomor isn't a suppurating pile of meat this time. Like with most possessed spirits, it returns to its natural shape at death. The horrible hand tendrils vanish, leaving only a deer that looks like it got hit by a train. Entirely pleased with Nin's chiminage, Whippoorwill explains that he must discuss what he saw with Simmer, the patron spirit of the mysterious Silent Strider tribe, and then he will return to bestow his gift on Nin and teach her the Song of the Moon Path. Ooh, okay, so we did it. We did all that good stuff. We headed to the deep woods. Okay. I don't want to deal with Cult of Fenris right now. I really would like our Silverfang friend. That would help me out bunches. Because there was a gift that said I could get it if I had a Silverfang with me to do something. So, and I don't remember which one it is anymore, but I would love to have a Silverfang. She sounds dope. You text Elton and get a response. As you eat breakfast, he's coming over. He arrives in less than half an hour, just as you finish cleaning up, and still stubbornly wearing his black frock coat, though today's high is estimated in the upper 70s. Retrieving Melody won't be easy, Elton says. Did I ever tell you about the history of the three families? No, you say. Oh boy. Three families moved here almost 200 years ago with the first wave of Polish immigrants to this area. The Beninsky, that's why the names are like this. The Beninskis, the Palaces, and the Lubiesks. Saying it so wrong. I need Outstar here. Malachi Palace was a Silverfang, and Casimir Lubiesk was a human sorcerer. Ah, that woman who's working with the Cult of Fenris. I said she might be a mage. I said so. I hope we get Striders as a tribe option eventually. Kyle said he just finished Ghost Council. Ooh, yes, I love the Silent Striders. Love them. Really cool. I like. They're really, in my opinion, like one of the more unique. Like they have a really unique way of fighting the apocalypse. Melody unlocked getting gifts from ancestor spirits. Yay. So glad I didn't have to read this game out loud for this reason. Yeah. That's fine. I'm here. That's what I'm here for. I am perfectly willing to make a fool of myself on camera because I've been doing it for years. Their interactions spawned an entire philosophy that came to define the local Garu, who freely mixed Casimir's Catholic heresies and Malachi's Jewish mysticism with the more traditional spiritual beliefs you're no doubt familiar with. If you came here 10 years ago and listened to the Silverfangs, you'd learn that the three families gave the local Garu a continuity of tradition and access to human resources that let them thrive in their battle against the worm. That was all rot. The three families were manipulators, proud beyond their station. Oh god, who believed that they could dictate terms to Gaia's champions. Sound more like a Shadow Lord, my dude. Sometimes useful, yes, but they turned on us in the end. My tribe, the Shadow Lords, we were right to doubt them. But it was a hard way to be proven right in the end. And he shakes his head then as if not entirely convinced of the Shadow Lord position. Oh, you think? Because they're basically La Sombra. Hi, Rachel. How are you? We're reading about werewolf stuff. And Melody is a palace, you say. The first Garu to emerge out of the three families, Elton says. The result? Political chaos. And then her sister, I'm dead that they named her Melody and Harmony. And then her sister Harmony demonstrated her own supernatural talents, though she was technically only human. Well, yeah, she's magey, right? Like that woman we met. The Silverfangs were always closer to the three families than the Shadow Lords, so when Melody joined them, it shifted the balance of power at the cairn, helped the families gain more control over the Garu. It was a disaster, though. It wasn't Melody's fault. Still, she blames herself. There was a fight over Melanie? They must have ignored the litany and turned on each other. I have to show you my stats again, because I showed it just like right before my internet cut out last time. Because I was looking, because I wanted to see like what stats I had before I went to get gifts. Look at how good, like, look at how positively I feel about the litany. I'm like a litany stan over here. So I think I'm going to lean into that because that seems, I didn't do it on purpose, and I'm not entirely, I'm not sure what options I picked that make me, maybe because I resisted eating the bane in the beginning, the Fulmore in the beginning and stuff. I don't know. But I think I'm just going to lean into it because why the hell not? I mean, it's so bad. It doesn't make any sense as a Ragabash to lean into it. But that's what we're about. What's the litany? Oh, Rachel, you're a delight. No, there was a fight that used Melody and her sister Harmony as an excuse, Elton says. The three families had grown increasingly ambitious. They saw the Garu as tools, and temporary ones at that. Werewolves came and went, arrived from outside, and died fighting the worm, but the three families were forever. They tried to use the sisters as leverage over us. Greynail, the leader of the Silverfangs, was old by then and did as he was told. The Shadow Lords fought back. Then the three families betrayed us at the Battle of Graves Farm, and we died. They did too. Small comfort. But we know where Melody is, you ask. Elton nods. She fled when her family died, the Theurge says. North of here, a little nowhere town called Ashfield. Nin scouted it, but she couldn't find Melody and couldn't explain what was so weird about the town. Weird, you ask? Elton shrugs. Something unnatural is afoot up there, he says. Nin is sensitive, but can't put things into words. She played an Eddie Money song, which didn't explain anything. This is what happens when Garu aren't there to placate and support the spirits. Spirits get aggressive and strange, and everyone suffers. The smartest thing to do is just head up there and find out what's wrong with Melody, and deal with it face to face. We can go right now if you like. It's not as if meticulous planning has ever helped us in the past. Ouch. Ouch. I mean, factual, but also shut up. Great, let's go. It's fine. Lurk away, Rachel. Yeah, fall into being pro-litany to just being rational. Yeah, I mean, I'm not that rational, though, so I really don't know how I am more pro-litany than anti-litany, honestly. Nin's the best. Nin's great. Great, let's go. Oh, I need to work and make sure my situation is safe. Fuck work. Are you sure you're ready? Serious danger may wait in the shadowed wood and forgotten homesteads of Ashfield. Serious danger is my middle. I'm Sierra, Gaia's deadliest weasel. Serious danger. I don't have a last name. That's my whole name, though. That's my whole deed name. Let's go. Of no tribe. I'll text Nin, Elton says. Your phone buzzes. Nin, how quickly can you get to Sierra's? We're going north to find Melody. AWAB 15? I wonder what that stands for. I'm eating a muffin. Can you finish this muffin in such a way? Babnana walnut. That you arrive before noon? I'm all read coming. I am just trying to make conversation. It's important to know what your friends are doing in their everyday lives. And you are my friend. Aw, Elton says. Stop screwing around, hurry up. Okay, I'm back to liking Elton again. Elton's kind of fucking adorable, too. But banana walnut. To be fair, you do have a last name, September. I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true. I forgot they gave me a fake ID. Sierra September. It's an alliteration and I don't like it. You open the closet and organize bags, zip ties, extra clothes, protein bars that taste good to both humans and wolves. What does that mean? And the other paraphernalia of shapeshifter life. What flavor would taste good to humans and wolves? Let's put it in the comments. By the time you're done, the screen of vibrant green leaves makes Nin look like a fox. She's as small in lupus form as she is monstrously huge in hispo. You and Elton make sure all your equipment is strapped down and in place before you change. Elton's fur of his lupus form is an iridescent purple-black, like an oil slick on midnight seas. It's shockingly unnatural. Is that common among Shadow Lords? Or a mark of the Stormcat's favor? It's a bother, Elton says. How Elton still has an accent in the primal tongue, you don't understand. The Theurge lopes across the field to join Nin as you carefully finish your metamorphosis and wait for your senses to adjust. Then you race off to join them. I think I have white fur. I actually don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's white, though. It's a 4-hour run to Ashfield in lupus form. You've never made this kind of run before, so you just stay behind the Theurge and try to pay attention. You have no problem keeping up as Elton stops every few minutes to explore the fallen lands that once belonged to the Broadbrook Garu. Nin is gone over the horizon. She runs like a cheetah, and you only see her when she ranges back and yips at Elton to hurry up. You edge around the Veterans Hospital near where you fought David Baninsky and feel the sense of loss among long-abandoned campsites and effaced Garu signs scratched in rock. Spirits once thrived here even as the apocalypse spread across the world, and though it is the height of summer, the sun feels cold. 2 hours later, you break away from the others as you circle a hill covered in vibrant green grass. A hot wind blows out of the deeper woods, stirring ripples on the surface of a little brook. The worlds are close here, and for a moment you hear Gaia's mournful sighs. The spirit world appears between two sickly birch trees. The Umbra is a vision of hell, rendered without art. Earth-moving machines work the muddy and lifeless fields, operated by brutal laborers with cracked skin and twisted horns. The air smokes, the muddy ground is covered in slim, human-like creatures, once beautiful, now broken and lifeless, their robes tattered. Before the vision fades, you watch one of the earth movers plow a dozen of the muddy corpses into the ground beside the brook. This rivulet flows into the actual Broadbrook. Follow it and you could reach the captured and defiled Broadbrook cairn. You just need to find the secret path in. A road not on any map, not even the cosmic maps the Garu walk. Your last attempt left you standing confused next to a highway. Yeah, but we met the noodle lady, and that was fun. But this rivulet might be the clue, the key, the way in. The vision fades, but the feeling of rot remains, clinging to your fur. You can almost feel the diseased hatred of whatever resides now in that place as it concentrates its hateful will upon you. Oh God, I have to lean into it, right? The litany tells me to fight the worm wherever I find it. I'm not strong enough yet, but I let that thing know I'm here. I gotta lean into it because I already got 2 dots in it. May as well make it 3 dots and really, be rah-rah woohoo litany person. You still don't know exactly what happened at the Battle of Graves Farm. You've only heard conflicting stories, recriminations, bitterness nursed in secret. Please someone tell me, though. I would love to know. Whatever dwells out there is powerful, ancient, and shrouded, and you can't fight what you can't see. But you howl to let it know you're here, and so do the others. Nothing answers from the rotting woods. There's only silence and the reek of black smoke and rotting god flesh carried on the wind. You'll be back, though, one day. Back to cleanse the corruption from this land. Following Elton and Nin, you pass Graves Farm and head north, paralleling Ashfield Road, a barely paved strip of asphalt between 2 state forests. The green leaves shade you from a scorching midday sun. You approach Ashfield from the south, emerging from the woods into a field of tall corn across from farmhouses and a motor garage. This appears to be a little-used town common. You and the others hide behind an abandoned shed besides a crumbling stone wall and shift back into your Hamid forms. Expecting rough travel in any form, you brought your barbaric outfit. You have the sense to keep the bone jewelry you've collected out of sight, though. You sling your leather jacket over your shoulder since it's already pushing 80 degrees and study the little town with human eyes. On the surface, it reminds you of Hadley, where you explored the ruins of David Baninsky's life and later watched St. Homunculus perform another sleepy, almost forgotten New England village. Except, Elton winces as if staring into sun instead of fog. The air smells rancid and scorched, though it's not that hot. Gaia is screaming, Nin says. Damn. Chapter 4, Melody and the Magic Pumpkin. Well, that doesn't sound scary. What could possibly go wrong? Beef jerky, yeah. Oh, but yeah, I guess beef jerky would taste good too, Wolf. That's fair enough. It said protein bar, though. Is the beef jerky flavored because beef jerky is beef jerky. A protein bar is a protein bar, so it's like a fable. It'll be fine. Below on Earth, mortal men praised her and appeased her with nameless sacrifices. She moved on unheeding, girt round by somber night, spreading awful shadows through the midnight world. The mandrake felt the touch of her beams and half unloosed its clinging root beneath the soil. Dark hellebore matted itself in the thicket and gave forth its deadly odor. C.F. Curie, twixt dog and wolf. I feel good about this. The living earth screams dying. Then an old Chevrolet car putters down the road. It's old but not an antique, heavily used, spotted with rust and barely running. 2 men in tattered linen shirts and overalls spot you at the rock wall and regard you with cold suspicion, bordering on hatred, until the old car putters around the bend. The next redneck who looks at us that way is going to receive behavior correction. I have to say that. I'm hungry. Where's the IHOP? Shut up. My God. I don't know if shape-shifting burns calories. Hun, you just, like, ran 4 hours or something. Like, of course you're hungry. IHOP, I know. I haven't been IHOPing forever. What is anything? Nothing's ever gone wrong. Sierra has done everything exactly correct. Consistently. The next redneck who looks at us that way is going to receive behavioral correction. Sometimes I wonder how anxious I would be, Elton muses, if I didn't always have the option of turning into a monster and killing everyone who threatens me. While I also didn't like the way they looked at us, Sierra, we can't rip our way through the local bumpkin population, especially since I've already booked 2 rooms. We'll be staying at a B&B in town. Oh, come on. Why not stay with Hobland? Nin asks. This way we can talk to people, Elton says. I want to meet the locals. The town's only bed and breakfast is a crooked gambrel-roofed farmhouse slowly sinking into the mire that constitutes its backyard. It advertises itself with a sign that bangs in the hot summer breeze. The sign says nothing, only displays crossed sheaves of wheat. The interior is cluttered with colonial bric-a-brac, some useful and heavily worn like the oak bench across from the front desk, some beyond use even in this backwards place, like the silver lamp you check for sharp edges, none, and the collection of porcelain wash basins and pitchers. We're just like, no silver in our rooms! As completely normal behavior. It's a normal thing to make sure there's no silver in your room. When you enter behind the others, 4 men seated around a crooked table in an adjoining room suddenly fall silent. You recognize one of them from the Chevrolet, one of the rednecks. An elderly woman in a gray bun and a long dress stands behind the front desk, but she doesn't react when you enter except to narrow her eyes. Are we going to get Wicker Man? Are we going to get Midsummered? Are we going to get Dunwich Horror? Those are all really good options. I'm going to have to pick Dunwich Horror because that one is actually... look it up if you don't know the story. The Dunwich Horror. It's New England based. I think it's in Massachusetts. So I think I have to pick that one. It's a story I grew up hearing as I grew up in Massachusetts. Relax, Sierra, Elton says. I don't speak Italian. Sotto voce. This is hardly the strangest room I've walked into. He raises his voice and speaks in a slightly fancier British accent. Good afternoon. I can't do a British accent. My name is Elton Day, and I have 2 rooms for the next evenings. Don't do British. Shadow over Innsmouth would have been a better option, but it works, yeah, for sure. A little Cthulhu action. I don't know, it's kind of, you gotta be careful. Because, Cthulhu is now its own TTRPG RP, so you gotta be careful, I guess. The Dunwich Horror, look it up though. It's interesting. The woman does not react, neither do the men around the crooked table. Well, this is obviously going nowhere, and Elton's cultivated British reserve is rapidly dwindling. Why? Okay. Why do I have this option? We're here for the werewolf. So he comes in and he's like, good afternoon. I have 2 rooms for the next evening, and nobody reacts and nobody talks to him. What would happen if I said we're here for the werewolf? We are a Ragabash, It doesn't take a lot of prompting for me to make the bad decision. We're here for the werewolf. Sierra, Elton says. You just shrug. But there's no response from the woman behind the desk or the men seated. What's wrong with them? Seated around the table. No recognition or fear, as if they know you're not joking. No annoyance or confusion, as if they suspect you are. I suppose that tells us something, Elton whispers to you. But what? Yeah, what? He strides across the broad beam wooden floor to the front desk until he looms over the woman. She flinches as Elton picks up her book, turns it around, and says, I see these rooms upstairs are available. I also see that your facility lacks a credit card reader, but I've come prepared with cash and a personal check. What would you prefer? The offer of money propels the woman into action. She accepts weird Elton's check, then hands all of you physical keys as the Theurge uses his favorite fountain pen to sign his name in the registry. Elton seems to be relishing the lack of modern amenities, but you're scanning the room for information. This place is weird even by rural New England standards. Just before you head upstairs, one of the men, the one wearing a green coverall like a mechanic, hurries out of the room, banging the rear door in his haste. Whoopsies. Should I not have said werewolf? Herded by the others, you follow the woman upstairs to the rooms. She keeps glancing nervously back at you as you ascend the stairs, but when she finally opens the door, the room looks fine. Quilts on beds, doilies on the side tables, and a little chandelier with electric lights. The wooden floors are crooked but covered in thick, warm rugs, and when Nin surreptitiously checks for trapdoors under the rug, she doesn't find any. A rickety wooden fire escape leads up to this floor that's useful if you need to flee in haste, but also a potential entry point for intruders. The bathroom looks recently remodeled. You recognize the lime green and salmon from a 70s interior design blog that Black Tarn used to follow. A door connects this room to another, basically similar chamber. The woman leaves without a word, hesitating only long enough to commit each of your faces to memory. So what's that old lady's damn problem? Is it a racial thing or what? I mean, it could be. I don't think so. But it could be. Could be, Elton says. The proprietress was at least willing to make eye contact with you. Did she? I didn't notice. Okay. So, yeah, okay. Maybe they are just really a bunch of rednecks and we should wolf out on them. Does that complicate things, you ask? No, because we're werewolves and we're not scared of Hicks, Elton says. He paces angrily back and forth. But it's strange, isn't it? Rude, yes, I'm used to rude. We're being watched from the woods. Right there. You hurry to the window and just barely manage to spot him before he disappears. It's the same man in the green coveralls you saw hurry away downstairs. A moment later, he's gone. My internet research of Ashfield was infuriating due to lack of information. I actually had to call to make this reservation, like call with a phone. So we'll have to make do without Wi-Fi as our ancestors did thousands of years ago. Brother. Takes the group another 10 minutes to unpack fully and prep multiple escape plans and fallback points in case of disaster. Oh, we don't need those. Let's just go. By the time you're done, it's not quite noon, plenty of time to look for Melody. I'm worried about the lack of connectivity, Elton says as he jots more notes in the Book of September. My book. The book about me. I mean, allowing the player to be dumb is always a good option. I mean, I think so. I always allow my players to be dumb in my games. But if there's a problem, we can just howl. So let's start our investigation by he's definitely writing down, like, use the term werewolf in public. So let's start our investigation by splitting up, and we'll unite here at 7:30 to pool what we've learned. I'm going to the cemetery. He waves a hand vaguely northward. Nin, I want you here. Talk to those fossils downstairs, but don't alarm them. And watch the watchers. Look for anyone paying a bit too much attention to us. That's a complicated task for a wolfborn, but Nin nods. I always vote for helping Nin. Are you sure? Okay. Yeah, what about the man in the green coveralls we saw sneaking around? I mean, I would relish the opportunity to get to beat down a redneck. Is that bad? Does that make me a bad person? Maybe. But we can absolutely help him. That also has a certain appeal. I kind of want to just see what he's doing because that was weird. And I say that as that's right, you're in South Carolina. I forgot. I forgot. I lived in Myrtle Beach for 7 years. That's as southern as I ever got. Some blokes are just shifty and rat-like by nature, Sierra, Elton says. They don't mean anything by it. But he was outside our room, you say. That's true, Elton says. Maybe you should follow that up and see if he's involved in our business. Or just dealing meth. I mean, sneaking around after the locals is risky, though. Don't get caught. Does this place have a town office I could investigate? That might lead somewhere useful, Elton says. I'm not investigating the graveyard to look for ghosts. Why not? I want names. Names I can compare to the registries in the municipal offices. The town hall is right next to the restaurant. Check there, then try the offices. If I finish in the cemetery, I'll investigate the historical society. We're looking for anything about Melody, obviously, but we also need to look for anything out of place. Okay. 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 I really want to go after the dude in the overalls. I do. There's a part of me that very desperately wants to beat him up. Because I haven't had any fights in a while, and as like a barbarian in Dungeons and Dragons, I need to have a fight eventually. But this game gets me because it says up here, it talks about Owl's gift that I just got from Owl, and I kind of want to use it. So let's go investigate the offices. So maybe we can be cool and Owl will think we're cool and not regret giving us that gift. But I gotta beat someone up soon, right? There's... soon? You leave the B&B and spend a few minutes on Main Street confirming what Elton told you. The whitewashed town hall is open to the public. The street outside shows a strange mix of cars, some antique, some more modern, but strangely bland and timeless. Ford sedans, working trucks, nothing that holds your attention. The town hall is open, so you step inside. The town hall is miserably hot and musty with a single rattling fan that blows on a police officer stationed at an old wooden desk. He regards you with silent hostility before returning to his book, a biography of Theodore Roosevelt. His sidearm, you notice, is a modern .45 automatic. Great. Of course, nothing is online, which means you can't search except through the crude file catalog. You start with P for Palace and lose almost an hour just confirming that no such names are present in births, deaths, or taxes. Who did Elton say was from here? Knife Eyes, born Linus Harrowman. You can't find him, but you do track down a death notice that mentions the Palaces, spelled different. But the details are water damage beyond legibility. Maybe Elton has learned more by now. Damn, I didn't learn anything. Useless. Your stomach growls. It's time for a hamburger sandwich and some French fried potatoes or whatever this time-warp town has to offer a hungry werewolf. As you leave, the police officer watches you with an expression of quiet rage. The walkie-talkie on his shoulder hisses with static. He doesn't seem to hear it. You blink to let your eyes adjust to the daylight, then spot Elton across the street. Time to eat, he says, stalking angrily past you. I didn't learn anything. I'm useless. I should have gone and beat up the guy. Elton has calmed down a bit by the time he reaches the restaurant, though the locals recoil as if a man on fire just walked inside. What is going on? He grabs the nearest booth that lets him watch the street. These people need to keep their eyes down before they lose eyeball privileges. That is seriously how I'm feeling at this moment. If you found these people frustrating, I have good news. I left several face down in a ditch outside the cemetery. Good, you say. Of course, that's not all of them, Elton says. Several men here are looking for revenge. Get me a coffee, he tells the waitress, though she hadn't planned to stop. Wow. Black and a roast beef sandwich. You order a mug of coffee and a sandwich of your own. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find Melody, alive or dead. Ran into some trouble with some local lads, but my knuckles have already healed. The waitress wasn't going to stop at our table? What, do they don't like money or something? What the hell is going on here? Sierra's just going to roadhouse on these people. I want to. I really want to bad. I'm talking about the local lads, but my knuckles okay. Anyone dead? Of course not, Elton says. I'm in control of my actions, you know. I only knocked some teeth out and gave them a good scare. They won't be back. The waitress brings him his lunch. Elton slams his coffee like it's bourbon. Ugh. I could never eat coffee and a sandwich together. I could not do it. Ugh, kill my stomach. But I really thought Melody would be at the cemetery behind the Historical Society. That seems like her kind of place. He takes out the book of September and scans the names he wrote down at the cemetery. Where else could she be, you ask? Anywhere or nowhere. Gee, thanks. Elton says, though I think I should look for Nin. She might have found something. Maybe something she can't handle alone. I'm going to ask those two men at the counter what they know once we're done. Once we're alone, excuse me. You exchange details about your morning as you both eat your sandwiches, trying to shake loose some vital revelation that each of you only knows half of. But it doesn't work. Finally, Elton drops cash on the table and says, "We'll meet at 7:30 at the B&B. If something goes wrong, howl. If you hear one of us howl, come running." Two men get up, oh my god, and follow Elton out the door. But you suspect that's the plan. You step outside into a scorching hot summer day. All the crows surprise you. They swirl overhead despite the heat. As you watch, they scatter in every direction. Your investigations aren't done, and you want to have more to offer the others by the time you reconvene at the B&B this evening. Yeah, let's stop being useless. Sierra, okay? Stop being useless. Ooh. All right. I adopt my near-human Glabro form to enhance my senses and hunt for the source of the occult energy. I follow my intuition and Owl's flight to the source of the strange energies. I remain at the restaurant, stay on my best and friendliest behavior so Owl can look for clues and ask questions. I shift and make it easy to think of the man in green. It's risky, it should be life. Oh god, I really don't know. I really don't know. I relied on Owl before and it went really terribly bad. So Owl's kind of screwing me over a little bit. So I think I am going to Coverall Sky. Let's go back to Coverall Sky. Shift into our Glabro form, Coverall Sky. Since the man was dressed like a mechanic, you head for the garage and look around there. You spot his picture on the wall. His name is Elijah Ware, but you don't see him. It's only when you circle around the little stone library that you spot Mr. Ware exiting the hardware store across the street with a shiny new hatchet. You duck back behind the stone building as he scans the street. He doesn't see you, but he looks nervous and harried as he hurries away. You follow silently, edging around the tall corn in the fields and the overflowing gardens behind the farmhouses, then over a low stone wall to an ancient cemetery. But this isn't the cemetery Elton said he wanted to explore. It's older, its grave markers crooked and splashed with lichen. And there's Mr. Ware in his green coveralls. Mr. Ware works on a grave. You approach as close as you can, stopping only when there are no more trees or large tombstones to hide your approach. As you weigh whether or not to grab the man, he hurries away from the tombstone, carrying something in an old backpack. 5 other men, including the other 3 you remember from the B&B, are waiting for him in an old van. At least one is armed with a rifle. As you watch, you see Mr. Ware pull out religious paraphernalia, robes, masks, sickles. Silver sickles. Damn. The men handle them efficiently and without much reverence, though they talk in hushed and excited tones among themselves. The king? Did one of them say the king? They hop into the van and peel out. It looks like the man in green dug up those ritual items, so you trace his steps back until you stop at an ancient and twisted yew tree with exposed roots. The roots lead down into the earth. You turn on your phone's flashlight and cautiously poke your head into the black crevice. The earth under your feet is cold even in midsummer, and you can see heavy boot treads. He came this way. The flashlight beam illuminates a white stone door just a few feet away, tightly sealed but covered in unfamiliar swirling runes. All right. They're not Garu glyphs, but that's all you can tell. Any obvious traps? She asks, loudly, with her fingers crossed. Oh dear, this is vaguely Wicker Man. You check the low roof, but see only maggoty white roots and black earth. You don't see any mechanisms, but the door itself might be supernaturally dangerous. When you start taking pictures of the door and the swirling runes that mark it, the earth spasms, showering you with black dirt. You can't tell if the ceiling is crashing down or the floor is rising up, but the walls are definitely closing in. You scramble out of the pit, rolling as it seals like a sphincter. The yew tree shudders and spasms. You rise in the darkness of dusk and shake clods of black earth out of your hair and leather jacket. Then you check your phone. You still don't have any bars, but you snapped a dozen pictures of the white door. Well, that's something, isn't it? Christ. You feel a moment's frustration, but then you realize that if you're looking for a palace, maybe some of them are here. You walk along crumbling stone walls past ancient toppled grave markers, looking for anything as the light fades. Then you notice something out of place. New gravestones. They're already crumbling, but they're not mere heaps of stone like the others. And after wiping away a thick growth of weeds, you can read the names. Saul and Linda Palace. Their death dates list the same year as the Battle of Graves Farm. The dead yew tree rises nearby. A low building screened by dying trees is visible between the grave markers in the darkness of twilight. Either a shed or mausoleum, it appears entirely covered in crows. Great. Oh, no. I don't want... I'm all alone. I can't fight a black spiral dancer by myself. They watch your approach. You're within 20 yards when they start to take flight. Black shapes against the black sky, they swirl up and over the trees. More rise up and more, and the building you've been looking at seems to crumble into ruins before your eyes. Then even more crows rise into the sky, cawing wildly. And in seconds, there's no building at all, just a low, vaguely rectangular expanse of grass. Not so different from the hillock where the Fomor David Beninsky visited the corpse of his lover. And as the light sun fades, a rectangular outline appears on the west hill and clods of grassy earth tumble away, revealing a door of white stone, larger than the one you found beneath the yew tree. It swings open, firelight glows faintly within. God, as such a ragabash fucking thing to say. Well, it's more a Galliard thing to say. It was such a ragabash thing to say. As Beowulf encountered the mighty Grendel and beat his ass, I prepare to delve into the bowels of the earth and beat up monsters. They aren't ready for Gaia's deadliest weasel. Let's do it. Oh, God. Stopping to think tactically. Oh, why start now? You wonder if this is some sort of fortress. But you think you're looking at a receiving vault used to hold the bodies of the dead during the long New England winters, when they cannot be buried. One hand in your leather jacket on the hilt of your machete, you march into a rectangular hall cluttered with colonial furniture. A spindle-back chair, a plain oak table, an intricately carved trunk. Heavy worm-eaten curtains cover the brick walls. A brass lamp hung from a rotting wooden roof beam, fitted with colored glass, illuminates the walls in yellow and blue. Chains support the lamp, and more chains run across the ceiling and are partially hidden by curtains. The mechanism of the doors is at least partially mechanical, it seems. The werewolf sits on a carved stump directly beneath the lamp, her green eyes on you, one clawed hand toying with a game piece carved of bone. Black dirt streaks her gray fur. Maggots squirm on the game board in front of her. Fun! Oh, this is Melody, I hope. So this is where the rulers of the Garu spend their time. I can't believe I'm supposed to treat Silverfangs like royalty. I don't want to say that because I want Falcon to actually like me, and I don't know if that's going to come back to bite me somehow, so I actually don't want to say that. I gesture to the game piece. Forgot your switch, huh? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, so I'm not going to say that either. I'm here looking for answers about what's happened to this town, is all I'll say. I'm not going to assume that this is Melody, although it might be. It probably is. Let's be safe. Melody, Elton is looking for you. Let's be safe. Let's actually be safe for once. Mel, think carefully before you speak, the werewolf says, before you can utter a syllable. Okay. Her voice carries a note of easy command. Then her Krynos form is gone, and a young woman sits in the chair, curly auburn hair so voluminous it hides her nakedness. Then she's a wolf, then all 5 forms at once, a kaleidoscope of limbs and fangs. Words shape our inner reality, and that is all the spirits care about. I am the last palace. But who are you, pup? Your spirit is so weak I can barely see you. 10 eyes seek you in the darkness of the umbra as something man-shaped and radiant shimmers behind Melody's stump throne. Oh dear. Your sister was close to Broadbrook Garu, wasn't she? I give her Harmony's library card, which I found a while ago. This is fine. Switch is the Nintendo handle. Oh. Well, duh. I do know that. I have 2 of them. I think I was trying to think of Switch in some sort of... Because, like, it looked like... Okay. I was thinking, like, some sort of chess or checker or some sort of, like, strategy board game. Yes. Correct. You are correct, Matt. Thank you so much. Oh. Yeah. You slide the card out of your battered wallet and hand it to Melody. She snaps back into her Hamid form, at least that's what you perceive, then politely takes it from you and studies it, her expression haunted. I hear she died bravely, Melody says, for whatever that's worth. Does that spirit command those men with sickles? Melody looks terrified, her eyes widening. How do you know? She asks. I saw, you say. We're all looking for you. She doesn't answer your question, but she seems to look at you in a new light. Is that why you're really here, pup? She asks. For me? Oh. I'm here to help restore the Broadbrook Cairn. Are you? Melody says with a chilling laugh. Will you bow down before the Silverfangs again, as people once did? No. Do you even know what we were like? In the days of glory, before this sorry, sodden age, we ruled openly and without apology. The first Silverfang to rule the 3 families, a distant relation of mine, was a king. When someone offended him personally, he killed them. But when someone offended the litany, he did much worse. Worse than death, you ask? Banishment? Worse, Melody says. He made them into him. Imagine being a man, like one of the old lords of the Garu. Cruel, proud, omnipotent, knowing that you are king of wolves. But now everyone calls you an exile and a beggar. Everyone mocks you. You raise your hand to strike them down with magic, but you have no power. You look for your rage and it's gone. You are nothing, and you believe yourself a king. That was how my ancestor punished his worst enemies. In the end, of course, they killed him for it. He suffered the triple death of all fallen kings. The spirit behind Melody drags physical material into the form of a rough physical body. You can see a crown of vibrant green grass, and he wears a medallion on his chest like a sunburst. Something red-black holds him together and darkens the scraps of leaf and root he has formed into a robe. Blood. You think it's Melody's blood. This spirit craves worship, you realize. Worship, ritual, tradition, cycles. His eyes are spirals, seasons, eons, and he's growing stronger. You don't think the spirit has the power to seize control of your life story like the Stormcat does, at least not yet. But he's pushing, straining in that direction, growing more powerful on sacrifice and obeisance. Who is that? Please tell me now. The spirit seems to look into your soul and approve of what it sees. Great. Awesome. I love that for me. Yeah. It bows slightly, then fades back into the umbra. Maybe you understand, Melody says. You command the spirit world by understanding who you are. The Summer King sees that you understood yourself. She toys with her game piece. To be a werewolf is to change, and to be change, to have no center, no essential self. A werewolf is a hurricane, nothing solid, only motion, only a phenomenon. Not a person, not a creature, not a thing. We are only a tangle of winds directed by who knows what. We direct the chaos of ourselves into the spirit world to enact our will. You have shown that you understand how to do that. But I still don't understand why you're here. What do you expect to accomplish? Hip deep in it now. I know. What do you expect to accomplish? I try to heal her mind and bring her back to the pack. Melody, the others want to see you again. Let's go meet them. How is Elton? She asks. He's worried about you, you say. And his wife? Dead, you remind her. Ah, right, Melody says. They're all dead. I'm sorry, you say. But Elton, don't talk to me about Elton. Melody snaps. Was he able to save us? He wasn't even able to save his wife. She died along with my sister. Damn Shadow Lords always talk about doing whatever is necessary. Did he when it mattered? No, he balked. He's a coward and he deserves to be alone with his cowardice. Before you can ask what she means, the light of an oil lamp spills from a tunnel on the far wall. You need to go, Melody says. Elijah Ware is coming. The priest. The Summer King's priest. You remember the silver sickles. You could probably survive a fight, but then what? You see the hopelessness in Melody's eyes. Her expression tells you that she's bound here by the Summer King's rights and bans, and killing a heathen priest won't change that. Tell Elton I will speak with him tomorrow night before the rite, Melody says. Ah. We're here to help you, Melody. I'll let the others know where you are. Christ, this is intense. Silver King and Shadow Lords sure do get along well, I know. Silver Fangs, yeah. I know. Well, they don't, right? You know, it's sort of the Ventrue La Sombra thing, you know. They are really similar in a lot of ways, but they approach things really, really differently, is the thing. You know, where Ventrue want to be, you know, using Ventrue and La Sombra, where Ventrue want to be like, you know, the ones controlling flow of business, controlling flow of money and capitalism and trends, and wants to be that forefront person. Whereas La Sombra would rather do things in a subtle way, do things from behind. They don't want to be the person in the front with they want the illusion of power, right? They want the other person to have the power, but they actually want to be controlling them like a little puppet master behind. And it's very similar vibe here. With Shadow Lords and Silver Fangs. I feel really bad for her, though. All right. Silver Fangs also have the fun thing of sort of like a half Malkavian thing where they tend to go a little whoop whoop after a while. We're here to help you, Melody. I'll let the others know where you are. Oh, God. Thank you, Melody says. Hurry. You retreat back the way you came. When you turn, the white door closes, and then suddenly the door is gone, leaving only smooth grass. It's pitch black, the half moon obscured by low clouds that threaten rain. You check your phone. It's 8:45 p.m. How did you lose so much time? You were supposed to meet the others hours ago. You set out towards the cemetery's entrance, then you stop. Where did that big dead tree go? Then you see it in the sky. The yew crawls through the air, jet black against the cloudy blue-black sky. Its branches writhing, its roots full of grave stuff. The smell of rot hits you like a cloud of gnats. Crows sit in the tree's branches or circle it in low, lazy arcs. Then the tree stops midair. You're considering what its arrival portends when the tree suddenly dives towards you, lashing out with one of its largest branches. Great. You scramble out of the way and its bulk smashes a half-dozen tombstones, showering you with rubble and clods of black earth. It rushes you again, and as you run, you try and figure out what to do. Great. Great. In theory, a Shadow Lord would back a truly strong Silver Fang, but not many live up to their idea of that. Yeah. To be perfectly honest, a Shadow Lord is looking at everybody as assessing their strengths and weaknesses and ultimately how best to use them to their own advantage, to their own tactic of fighting the worm, fighting the weaver, whatever it happens to be. So, you know, even if it's an exceptionally strong Silver Fang, yeah, they'll back them because they're exceptionally strong. But they'll also know whatever their weakness is and use that if they have to. That's what makes Shadow Lords makes other werewolves a little bit wary about them. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's change, because if I'm going to get pummeled by Brock, I want to be big. I want to be a big boy. I could go Krynos, and I'm gonna, because it gives me 4 extra dots in health. Boom! Achievement, lost the wolf. Crap. I didn't pass my rage checks. Damn. Alright. Yeah. I drop off the side wall of the cemetery and hide, like the weenie that I am, because I can't be a big wolf right now. which will take both cunning and stamina. Let's do it. Uh-oh, I think I'm dead. Whoopsie. The cliff-like western face of the cemetery is full of shadows and crannies where you can hide. You duck a sweeping branch and sprint past crumbling grave markers, then hop the stone wall and drop down into the darkness. You hold on and push deeper into the darkness as the tree floats out above you, drifting silently against the blackness of the cloudy sky, limbs testing the air like the tentacles of some rudimentary underground organism. It hovers in silence, branches twitching, black grave dirt trickles out from between its twisted bowl-like roots. The dirt falls on you, and your foot skids. Did it hear you? Can it even hear? Several seconds pass, and you think you're clear. Then the tree drops like a stone right on top of you. Oopsie, I think I'm dead. Nope. The force of the impact knocks you off the wall and sends you tumbling down into the wooded glade below the cemetery. The tree drops again, and you scramble back up to your feet and roll. You catch another branch across the back, but you roll into the woods and keep moving, limping a little because you landed badly on your ankle, but the tree seems to have lost you. Crouching low in the darkness, you watch as it passes slowly overhead, hunting. Then it rises up and disappears into the low black clouds. You shift out. Oh, I was in my Krynos form. I thought I lost the wolf, so I wasn't. You shift out of your Krynos form before the rage consumes you. I thought I lost the wolf. It said I lost the wolf. That is not correct. That is not correct. If I don't pass my rage checks, I can't shift to Krynos. But whatever. Where have you been? Elton said. Twin, where have you been? Elton says, poking his head out of the window of the B&B. You're not my mom, Elton. Your mom would have some questions about the state of your outfit, Sierra. Look at you. Oh my god, shut up. Shut up. Yeah, taking Krynos just to pull a fade. Well, I wouldn't have pulled a fade. Okay. I wouldn't have pulled a fade if I thought I didn't fail my rage checks and lost the wolf. That's why. I thought I was still a human. Wipe your feet when you come in. You look down at your hands and realize how much dirt covers you from your fight with the tree, and you're wearing rags. The first thing you do is take a very long shower since you're covered in filth. Your companions are not particularly tidy people, but apparently grave dirt is a step too far. You lean your head against the tiles and watch as black rivulets flow off your body and down the drain. You make sure no more blood is clinging to your skin, then dry yourself off. Then you help yourself to some leftover pizza. Apparently the town's bizarre time warp doesn't stop the locals from enjoying this kind of exotic ethnic fare. Once you're showered, you gnaw on a pizza crust while checking the landscapes on the walls for peepholes or anything else weird. But really, girl lose a fight with a tree. I know. And that's why we're not saying anything about it just yet. So, Elton says as you gnaw on crust. Did you have a good day at school? Shut up. Nin's tail wags. You fill them in on your investigations as you pick out new clothes, jumping ahead to the monstrous flying you, then backtracking to your meeting with Melody. Elton has you go over every word. His name was Mr. Ware, Elton asks. You nod. Elijah Ware, owner of the local garage, Elton says. That confirms what I've turned up. Go on. You make sure to cover every detail you remember from your day's investigation, then you listen while you check your new duck boots and flannel shirt as the others describe their activities. Nin learned the name of the proprietress of this B&B, Lucy Shea, Elton says, as well as a dozen other names, including more than one Shea and Ware, but I'm not sure it helps us. No palaces. And she also saw the tree. I'm forced to admit that I did not believe her at first. The B&B's owner, Lucy Shea, has also been trying to spy on our operations here. Nin was able to thwart her by violating certain expected social norms. Thank you, Nin. The little wolf bangs her tail on the hardwood floor with even more eagerness. I was also able to identify Elijah Ware, this alleged priest, because he visited the cemetery where I spent most of my day. Of course, now we know I was in the wrong cemetery the whole time, but I learned something from the Historical Society building nearby. The director there, another man we saw downstairs when we first arrived, tried to hide the town's regular festivals from me. Festivals, you ask? Reevaluating the chances that all of you are going to get Dunwich horrored before this is all over? 3 per year for the past 3 years, Elton says. Each has involved both Elijah Ware and Lucy Shea. the owner of the B&B who tried to pry into Nin's business. We're coming up on the summer festival for the Summer King. Great. They tried to hide the pictures they've taken, but Melody and Elijah Ware have presided over all of them. Our obligation now is twofold. First, we must rescue our lost packmate, and second, as Garu, we cannot permit some grotty little nature spirit to lord over mortals. This priest, Elijah Ware, has the clues we need. What about a late-night interrogation, or at least investigation? Nin, what did you do? I know. It doesn't matter. It worked, whatever it was. I don't want to kick in any doors just yet, Elton says. Nin woofs. Maybe you two are right. That's right, be on my side, Nin. The Theurge muses. Okay, Nin, I want you to scout his house tonight before dawn. Learn everything you can about Mr. Ware without drawing his attention. A rattle from downstairs. Elton cracks the door, then shakes his head. He doesn't see anyone. One of us will remain on guard at all times tonight, he says. I'm starting to worry about how much power these people can command. Tomorrow we need to speak to Melody again, if at all possible, investigate the town to learn who knows about the Summer King, and figure out what this ritual is all about. We have 3 days till the summer solstice. As Elton and Nin start to settle down, you take first watch, peering through the windows and listening for sounds down below. But everything is quiet. After a few hours, Elton relieves you and you crawl into bed. As you fall asleep, your brain keeps replaying everything you saw in Melody's barrow, trying to piece together what you're missing. You know you're missing something. I'm missing a lot of things. Tons. I don't have enough brain cells to figure everything out. Or anything. Your dreams are fragmented and cyclical, looping back on themselves in endless, brutal procession, like seasons that come and go without any real change. The only dream you can remember is a nightmare. A family dog goes into a cave, and you hear it yelping and howling all around the hillock that the cave leads into. It keeps howling until it's drowned out by other voices, laughing with cruel delight. And then suddenly it's silent. Sierra, Elton says, wake up. Alarming events have transpired. The most British way to say that something bad has happened. It's a half hour before sunrise when you stumble to the window and tug it open. The morning air is cool, and the streets are so fog-shrouded that for a moment you can't see anything. When your eyes adjust to the unexpected murk, you see green ribbons and summer bows wrapped around utility poles and stop signs down below. They're everywhere in such profusion that either a whole army must have come through town or everyone participated in this setup while you slept. Creepy! Nin stands in the doorway in her Hamid form, dressed in a thigh-length Ulvesang hoodie, her posture tense and anxious. Nin scouted Mr. Ware's house, Elton says. And the grave, Nin says. I was digging in the wrong spot, Elton says, in 2 different ways, one that I didn't even know about. There was a body in Elijah Ware's garden, Nin says, sacrificed. Throat cut, skull crushed. I didn't do an autopsy, but I bet he was drowned, too. A triple sacrifice, Elton says, to the Summer King. And, he glances at Nin, who nods. Nin thinks Mr. Ware has already captured this season's sacrifice. Probably a drifter or something. It's not just a ceremony anymore, Sierra. The Triple King is sick of mind control games in some nowhere town. He started to kill, to gain power and free himself from the limitations of this place. This mind warp has to emanate from the Summer King. Let's get rid of him and stop this before it's too late. Can we do that? Is that a possibility? I mean, we're Gaia's deadliest weasel, not the smartest one. That's right. That's right. We were trying to fight a tree. Nin nods. I love that Nin is always on my side about everything. She's the best. I thought about the gifts Melody might have earned, she says, and I don't think Silverfangs can do mind tricks, Elton says. No, in general, Garu do not engage with phantoms or truck with subtle mental influence. So the weight of evidence points to the Summer King as the source of this mental disturbance, but that's no guarantee. We need more information before I can be sure. You glance back out the window. Are there more green ribbons than the last time you looked? It's hard to see through all the fog. We can't just hang around, Elton, you say. 1 more day of investigation, Elton says, but then yes, we'll have to act decisively. You shift your weight uncomfortably. A lot can happen in a day. Yeah, like trees. But you can't exactly give an Elder Garu orders. 1 more day, Elton says. His tone says he can't quite decide whether to give you an order or to plead his case. I need to investigate the library and learn more about whatever rite is unfolding here, and how to stop it. Nin, I want you to talk to Melody. Me? The Galliard looks shocked. People like you, Elton says. Excuse me. Werewolves like you. Humans curdle in your presence unless you're playing an instrument. But Melody remembers you as a nice pup who could barely talk. You'll probably impress her. Also, you can deal with any spirit guardians short of the Summer King. When should we meet up again, you ask? 7 o'clock sharp, Elton says, and I want to avoid this B&B. We'll use the town common. Alright, since we're all splitting up, I'll split up too. I conduct patrols and check escape and attack routes. I'm going to crush this cult, but first I need to know the terrain. Since everyone's splitting up. Yesterday's investigation only showed you the town center and the old graveyard, but these old New England towns sprawl far out into the hills, and spirits are stronger out there. It's true, Garo don't really do subtle, period. Nope. Nope. If Summer King has allies or places of power, they'll be in the wilds. A more practical concern is that if you and the others need to flee quickly, you'll need a clear path out of town. You head east along Main Street past the town common where you'll meet up with Elton and Nin later, looking for a good place to cut into the woods and start exploring. You're concentrating so intensely that you barely notice the old Jeep rolling your way until its shadow crosses your path. You barely have time to throw yourself into the dirt before a hefty bag flies past you and bursts. Rancid ham salad and half-empty soup cans splash and tumble across the asphalt as the truck driver shouts a slur, then skids to a halt about 20 feet away. There are at least 3 locals in the truck. Time to teach these locals a lesson they won't forget. Hey, assholes! Elton's gonna kill me. I can't wait. You stalk toward the locals. The driver actually looks afraid. He guns the engine and the truck bounces off the side of the road and races away. Assholes. Wow, I scared them. Go me. You wipe your skinned hands on your flannel shirt. You're a little scratched up, but it's not bad. The trash smells awful, but your job as protector of, Gaia doesn't extend to bagging up someone's rancid garbage. It would if I was a child of Gaia. Instead, you step into the foggy woods. Oh my god, I scared them away. What is my rage at? Where my rage at? I'm at rage 3, alright? First, I shift into my Glabro form to enhance my senses and maneuverability. Please don't lose the wolf again. Promise? Thank you. Your jaw breaks and reknits. You lick blood off your teeth as your senses sharpen to an almost painful degree, flooding your nostrils with the stink of trash and the rank, sweet reek of humans in midsummer. Yeah, I'll use my... Do I have knowledge of small unit tactics? Do I? I don't know if I do. But that's what I'm gonna do. I use my knowledge of small unit tactics to figure out where the Summer King's agents might station snipers. I'll systematically investigate the woods using my wilderness training to look for anything strange, dangerous, or useful. I explore the urban-rural divide looking for street and parking lots where a clever cultist might set up an ambush. I think that's probably the smartest one. Either that one or checking on the locals. One or the other. They are wise to fear the deadliest weasel. Let me get that tattooed on me. There isn't a lot of urban around here, even downtown, but even a time-warped nowhere New England hamlet should have a gas station. That's where you start. The mobile station and attached convenience store features something you'd almost forgotten, a late model vehicle. The Honda motorcycle looks like a sci-fi hoverbike sitting between an old Chevrolet station wagon and a grubby minivan. The owner walks out of the convenience store with some beef jerky, tucks it into his jacket, then looks around suspiciously. You instinctively look inconspicuous, casually rifling through the cards in your wallet. From the corner of your eye, you watch the rider crack the storage compartment where the gas tank should be, check the contents, and hastily ride off. You're pretty sure this is meth country, like back home. That's interesting. You cut through the wooded lot behind the convenience store, listening for the roar of the Honda's motor. There's no way you could catch up, even in lupus form, but there are only so many ways out of this town. When you pass the garage you saw on the way in, you observe fresh tire tracks in the mud. The rider blew through the rear parking lot. Maybe he pays off the owner or makes deliveries here. You look around, wary of the beware of dog sign and the rusted chain link, then spot something hidden under a tarp. A Jeep, ready to roll with extra gas cans in the back seat. You circle around town, spot another tarp in a rotting barn, find a tow truck similarly kitted out. Then a huge Ford truck, its snow plow stored nearby in another barn. You could block a whole street with this. You're almost certain that if you and Elton cause enough trouble, these are the vehicles that will show up. You take pictures and make notes. I would cut brake lines if I had the option. I'd be slashing tires, cutting brake lines. Okay, you head for the town common where Elton told everyone to meet up. Along the way, you see even more signs of the coming midsummer festival. Elton and Nin are where they're supposed to be, so you fill them in on everything that happened. He listens attentively, then turns to the important subject of where to have dinner. Very important. We had a sandwich yesterday and pizza, so you gotta have something different. I don't want to return to either restaurant, though, the theurge says. I suspect Mr. Ware has set watchers. The convenience store has food, you say. I'd hope for something in the manner of a French bistro, Elton says with a sigh, but that will have to do. Oh my god. Lots of furtive activity in town, glimpsed dimly through the fog as you follow your packmates. It sets you on edge. Do you hear that? Nin asks. A regular thumping. Maybe an engine? Following the sound, you spot a procession winding east down Main Street, led by the garage owner Elijah Ware and the B&B proprietress Lucy Shea, followed by the librarian and another woman beating drums. Dozens of revelers in stark red or white robes follow them. That's not bloody fair, Elton says. We still have 2 days until the summer solstice. I was planning on that. Damn it, the Summer King can't even manage a simple calendar. Nin makes a heroic effort to play the Guess Who's No Time on her banjo until Elton tells her to knock it off. So we free Melody tonight. We're Garu. We're always ready for this. Right? Am I right or am I right? Need I remind you that they have silver, Elton says? Let's try thinking our way in first. If that doesn't work, we'll make a mess. I know, right? Leave Nin alone. Fuck's sake. We still have stuff at the B&B. One of us should go back there before we get robbed. Maybe, possibly, if we haven't already. Good idea, Elton says. Watch for ambushes and grab all of our things. Well, everything valuable, at least. Everything that's valuable or pants. A set constituted of all objects that are either, I understand, you say. Good, Elton says. I suspect we're leaving tonight, and we're leaving with Melody. We'll grab that Jeep you mentioned, then follow the procession. You hurry back down Main Street to the B&B, then hide behind the restaurant when you see an Ashfield police SUV parked out front. You circle around to the rickety wooden stairs that lead up to the bedrooms, climb up the steps, and peer through the window. It doesn't look like anyone has been into either room, so you jimmy the window and climb in. A police officer stands outside in the hall. You can hear the crackle of the walkie-talkie. Raised voices below reveal at least 2 more downstairs. As you search through your clothes, you spot a scribbled note in Elton's handwriting. Spring and harvest rights, and then a Dewey Decimal notation, which the local library still uses. Am I still in Glabro form? Yep. Huh. What's this note from Elton about? Can I make any sense of it? Probably not, because I'm not that smart. Well, the Midsummer Rite appears to be happening tonight. Perhaps these books contain information about the other 2 seasonal rites over which the Triple King presides. It's possible that some kind of ritual book is waiting for you right at this location in the library if Elton wasn't wrong. You could use that kind of information if you plan to thwart the Summer King's ritual. I run to the library and see if I can find those ritual books. I'm helping. I'm the one who should be doing this because I have 1 intelligence. You move to grab your stuff before you leave, then you hear 2 cops outside. They're getting ready to move in, leaving you with no time to pack. You climb back out the window and head down the exterior stairs. The library is next door, and though the door is locked, the side window isn't. The building is empty. You shine your phone's flashlight around till you find the shelf you need. You find yourself at 562 Fossilized Invertebrates. Confused, you dig around among the old naturalist texts until you find a slim cloth-bound volume. The Harvest Rite. You don't see anything on the vernal rite, but flipping through this narrow folio, this seems to be instructions for carrying out one of the Triple King's rituals. The book isn't long, both you and Elton need to read it. Boom. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop right here, right before the rite begins, and we're going to rescue Melody somehow, some way. But next Thursday, meaning the next time I stream, I might be playing a different game, possibly, maybe, perhaps. You'll have to tune in and see if I am doing such a thing, which would be very exciting. And, of course, I'm not stopping Guy as Deadliest Weasel. We are finishing Guy as Deadliest Weasel. World of Darkness has let me take over the Twitch while we play this, so that's perfectly fine. Gasp, a new game. Yeah, maybe next Thursday and Friday, maybe. We'll see. You'll have to tune in to see. But I want to thank everyone so much for helping me. I'm super excited to, I am not afraid to die. Gaia's Deadliest Weasel is not afraid to die. I was hoping the tree would kill me because that would have been funny. But we'll see. I'm going to keep doing the dangerous, stupid thing to see how far I can push this game until it just ends my life because they can't take it anymore. Whether through my pack mates or through the game. But thank you so much. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend and are looking forward to coming back to this, maybe possibly in 2 weeks instead of next week. So thank you everybody so much.